No. No is the answer. I came into the week with high hopes, and all of that is now shattered as we reach the tail end of the week, still 80,000 keys short of the minimum goal with 4 hours to go. And boy am I furious right now, cause I thought 1 million would be a fucking cakewalk to get if everyone just played as much as they promised to play. But of course that will never be the case. I just didn't expect the turnout to be this bad, you know. A good chunk of the players actually went above and beyond the minimum to help with our progress, including myself who raked in 34k keys, but turns out all of the time spent playing the game amounted to nothing because 2/3 of the clan wasn't able to keep their promise. Granted, I know some of the people were in the clan for a while and I didn't give them enough notice of the grind week ahead of time, and for that I can excuse you. I'm more so talking about those who weren't in the clan until they saw the video about it and applied to get those 25k keys for me. I could even dig up some of the comments on that video showing how many keys they told me they'd get versus how much they actually got if I wanted to, but nah, I don't think I wanna be too much of an asshole. Time to join world domination, I guess, Kappa. Anyways, we'll flip the switch to some footage I captured during my grind in Dread Bloon Cave. These games were actually on-card battles, and that caught me off guard because I was ready to go ham once the hour started, but then I had to frantically scramble to assemble a somewhat decent deck since on this account, all I had was a bunch of challenge/troll decks. So yes, I'll warn you that this card battles gameplay is really bad. Because Boss Arenas is always on the last day of the leaderboard week, if your clan is behind on schedule, which was the case for this day, you will have to do whatever it takes to get as many wins as possible within the hour, and well, the way I planned on doing that was with an aggressive early game rush deck. So no sabotage, Ray of Doom or any other late game defense card. The latest game card I have in a deck is the sniper card and it's 4 BFBs. But you can tell a deck is rushed when I freaking use the nuclear sub-card on a map without water, not to mention the redundant village rainbow balloon card I have equipped even though I already have a near equivalent with the Spike Factory Zebras. Oh yeah, I also haven't played card battles seriously since the tournament. But that's enough excuses, I think, lol. So back to the clan thing earlier. I don't know when I plan on doing another grind week for my clan, but when I do I think I'll have to impose some strict rules so we don't have as many slackers this time around. Or maybe another alternative is to somehow recruit an OP grinder like Marwan. Speaking of which, look who we have here. Thanks to him for reminding me how silly I am to forget the 2-0 farm card, which I'd say is pretty essential if you want to kill someone super quickly. But yeah, back on the topic of slackers. I know people have a life outside of Bloons, as do I, at least I would like to think. But shit, if you applied on the basis of earning 25k keys then things like school or attending an Ariana Grande concert is not a valid excuse because you knew these things would be in the way of key earning beforehand. If it was an actual unexpected emergency as with one of the players in my clan, then I'd understand. Next time I'll for sure give a lot of heads up for the people in my clan though. I think that's all I have to say regarding the disappointment with my clan. Again, thanks and apologies to the people in my clan who worked their tails off for nothing. You're all free to leave for a better clan, although there really aren't many options if you want to get the skin rewards, lol. Even though we failed for chest 8 it was still good enough for the number 5 clan in the world. Oh yes, another thing I have to mention. So if you happen to be grinding during the afternoon this past Tuesday, you may have noticed there was some downtime where you wouldn't be able to log into battles, or maybe you could but the leaderboards were all buggy. But don't raise your pitchforks at Ninja Kiwi because they weren't the ones responsible for the server issues. Rather raise them at Amazon instead because their very reliable servers were not so much the case on Tuesday. Overall I think the servers were down for about 3 hours or so, which translated to about an hour and a half of boss arena time that was lost. But that ain't the reason for us missing chest 8, In fact, something I didn't realize until later was that Ninja Kiwi actually compensated for that lost time by adding an extra 2 bus arenas, meaning it ran for 4 hours straight at one point. Even with that, our clan wasn't able to keep up the pace. Feels bad, man. Anyways, I think that's enough card battles for now. Time to go try hard and sharpen some of my skills in classic mode. So I'm pretty sure many people consider Dart Farm and Bomb to be one of the best strategies at the moment. I originally thought Ninja Farm and Bomb would be in the mix, but it's actually pretty exploitable and weak to all-out combo regrow rushes, so I probably wouldn't recommend using it unless you know your opponent sucks and won't take advantage of that weakness. And then there's also other loadouts that might work, but since I haven't put much time into testing it, I'll just go with the flow, whether the viewers like it or not. Again, I was going for the wins cause at the time of these recordings I still thought we had a chance at the skin rewards. So yeah, for the rest of the video I think I'll stay on topic, and just reiterate my previous thoughts on clans and the weekly leaderboard, and maybe add some more cherries on top. As you can see, the last 2 games were against players in the World Domination clan, which was ranked number 1 last week and unlocked the chest 10 rewards. Good on them for getting those cool skins. And I beat them both pretty handily, even though I'm super duper garbage at the game. So all this shows is you don't have to be good at the game to get the highest rankings, badges and whatnot. As is Ninja Kiwi tradition, they always like to reward the player who happens to play and win the most. Doesn't matter how many losses you suffer because it's all about the number of wins. Still waiting on the day they change plans so that you actually lose keys for losing a match. At least that would be a somewhat better indicator of skill, even though it still isn't very accurate. I don't know about you, but after hours of grinding last week I'm pretty damn drained and really don't feel like doing the same for yet another week. Sucks because Ninja Kiwi's grinding mentality is actually keeping players actively playing the game, so at the moment they have no reason to change this very flawed system. I could go on, but I think you get my point already. I'll leave you off with the remaining Blastopopulous games. I'm curious to know whether you guys are interested in seeing more of these classic try-hard games, or if you prefer dumb and crazy challenges, or perhaps even both. Just make sure to let me know cause ideas are getting a little sparse. Remember to like the video if you liked it, go figure. Have a failed day.